Life has a funny way of shaping us, sometimes in ways we don't expect. Looking back at the different stages of my development, I see a pattern that reveals the evolution of my dreams, my passions, and my struggles. From infancy to adulthood, my journey has been filled with curiosity, challenges, and a relentless desire to follow my dreams. Here's a look at how my life unfolded, stage by stage. I don't have many memories from my infancy or toddler years. No vivid pictures or significant events stand out. However, one thing I do remember is a deep curiosity. Even as a young child, I was drawn to the sound of music, and there was one thing I was especially fascinated by: guitars. I would often watch in awe whenever I saw my uncle playing. I couldn't even hold the guitar properly yet, but the idea of creating music with those strings captivated me. Unfortunately, my family thought I was too young to pursue such an interest. They didn't teach me how to play, believing that I was still in the early stages of development and that something like learning an instrument could wait. But even though my dreams weren't nurtured at that early stage, that curiosity never left me. It was just waiting for the right time to grow. As I entered childhood, my exposure to music became more profound and influential. My brother, who played a huge role in shaping my early interests, introduced me to a whole new world of music: punk rock. Bands like All Time Low, Boys Like Girls, and We the Kings quickly became the soundtrack of my formative years. I still remember the first time I watched All Time Lows live at STD performance. The energetic beats, the crowd's roaring excitement, and the catchy lyrics instantly grabbed my attention. I was only 9 years old at the time, and from that moment, I aspired to be like Alex Gascard, the band's charismatic lead vocalist. It felt as if a door had opened to a whole new universe of sound, and I was immediately hooked. These foreign bands, with their rebellious attitude, electrifying guitar riffs, and raw energy, fueled my dream of one day becoming a guitarist in a rock band. But music wasn't just about the bands I love. It became a form of self expression, something that resonated with me on a deeper level. While I couldn't yet play guitar properly, I would often daydream about performing on stage, guitar in hand, surrounded by a crowd that's singing my music. I imagined the thrill of playing my original songs and the power of connecting with an audience through my music. The dream of performing and creating music was planted early, and it only grew with time. Music wasn't the only area where I thrived. Throughout my elementary school years, I was an achiever. I was consistently at the top of my class, earning first honor in grade 4 and grade 5, and by 6th grade, I was honored with the title of 8th honorable mention. I took pride in my academic success, but I also sought fulfillment in activities outside of the classroom. One of the most significant experiences during my childhood was my involvement in our church's ministry. It was there that I had the incredible opportunity to perform at the Cultural Center of the Philippines, using the kulintang, a traditional Filipino instrument. Our church, with its deep cultural roots, was located at the Folk Arts Theater, and this connection allowed me to share a part of our heritage in such a prestigious venue. Those experiences, both academic and artistic, shaped the person I was becoming. The discipline of my studies, coupled with the creative outlets I found in music and performance, helped me cultivate a strong sense of ambition and a hunger for achievement. By the time I was learning to play guitar, my dreams of standing on stage with an instrument in hand were no longer just fantasies. They were becoming a reality. Every chord I strummed and every lesson I mastered brought me one step closer to the future I had envisioned for myself. As I look back, I realized that my childhood was a blend of academic success, cultural exploration, and a musical passion. The spark that my brother ignited with punk rock bands eventually blossomed into a deeper understanding of music's power. That dream of being a musician, a dream that began in my early years, has remained a guiding force in my life, one that continues to grow and evolve. During my adolescence, I was an achiever, often at the top of my class, and found myself involved in a lot of school events, particularly pageants. Due to my role as a class officer, being an escort for this pageant was an exciting responsibility. However, despite the recognition and the busy schedule, my true passion remained elsewhere. What I really wanted to do was play the guitar, go skateboarding, and immerse myself in online games like League of Legends, Dota 2, and Rules of Survival. These activities were where I truly found my sense of freedom and excitement, offering an escape from the pressure of my school events and responsibilities. My dream of becoming a guitarist never faded, even as my focus shifted toward these hobbies during my teenage years. Adulthood came with its own set of challenges. The pandemic, which disrupted everyone's life, was a turning point for me. At the time, I was studying at a private school, but the financial strain became unbearable. My family couldn't support my education anymore, and online classes proved impossible due to a lack of resources. I made the difficult decision to stop my studies, even though it felt like I was giving up on my future. However, I didn't stop creating. The pandemic lockdown gave me the time and space I needed to focus on my music. I started writing and recording my songs, pouring emotions and experiences into every note. It became my escape, my therapy. But despite having a catalog of music, I was too scared to release it. I feared judgment, failure, and rejection, especially because I didn't think I had a good voice and never had a chance to take a voice lessons. I was a self-learner, teaching myself everything from guitar to vocal techniques, and even learning how to mix and master my songs. It wasn't until this year that I finally found the courage to release my music on Spotify. It had been a long time coming, but seeing my work out there, finally shared with the world, felt like a small victory. By the way, you can check out my music on streaming platforms like YouTube Music, Spotify, and Apple Music. During this time, I also started working at a call center to support myself. I had graduated from senior high school, but my dream of pursuing a career in music still felt out of reach. My parents couldn't support me financially, so I had to find a way to make money and invest in my passion on my own. I work as a customer service representative, a job that was more stressful than I had anticipated. Instead of recording music when I got home, I found myself drained, exhausted, and in desperate need of rest. The stress of the job took a toll on me, and I turned to smoking as a coping mechanism. It wasn't until later that I realized the importance of self care and balance. I slowly began to take control of my health, quitting smoking and focusing on my well being. Eventually, I applied to college and returned to studying, this time focusing on my true passion, a course that would bring me closer to my childhood dream of working in the music industry. Today, I am back on the right track. I'm currently attending school and I'm happier than I've ever been. I'm working toward a future I had once thought impossible. It hasn't been an easy journey, and there were times I almost gave up. But now I'm on the path I was always meant to take. Throughout this journey, I often remember the lyrics from my favorite band, All Time Low song, Weightless, which always resonated with me. Maybe it's not my weekend, but it's gonna be my year. Looking back, I realized that every stage of my life, infancy, childhood, adolescence, and adulthood, played a role in shaping who I am today. From my early curiosity about the guitar to my teenage dreams of being in a rock band, and through the struggles of adulthood, music has always been my constant. Today, I am still learning, growing, and chasing my dreams. I no longer fear the future because I know that each challenge I face is just another step toward becoming the person I've always wanted to be. I hope that my story encourages others to follow their passions, no matter how hard the journey may seem. Dreams doesn't have an expiration date. They simply require patience, persistence, perseverance, and willingness to take risks. Thank you.